Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take a look here at Solana, see what's going on. We talked previously about 2 points of interest here, and we're getting close to one, but we're not quite there yet. And if you're wondering or scratching your head like, wait a minute, I thought you said a bounce off 144 is where we want to get in. Truth is, that would have been a good entry if Bitcoin didn't dump here recently, late last night. But more importantly, we didn't actually get a candlestick closure on the daily at that level, and that kind of confirms that we had a 24-hour period of control in that range. So at this point, it's still a little premature to take a long, but once more, Solana is looking better than Bitcoin as far as its price action is concerned, and we like to see that. Okay, so again, generally those are things we want to focus on, and essentially, kind of help us understand what altcoins are worth taking entry on. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and pull up some liquidation, kind of take a quick look. If you could, please hit the like button, comment below if you get a chance. Love to hear it. Absolutely appreciate all the support you can get, so we can get less people destroyed by moon boys and more people just commonly using more common sense in trading. Right? It's crazy how that doesn't exist. Anyways. Take a look here at Solana last 7 days of liquidation. We can see there's a pretty large accumulation at 148. Now 148's been a very, very common area of support or resistance, depending which side we're on. We're seeing it work pretty strong here as that resistance range. So I think once we break free from 148, we're probably going to see the price run. But at this point here, if we do take a look, we can see that is an obvious area here recently that got rejected out. Basically a double top or just a previous high that retested and never broken. So that's why there's a lot of short liquidation levels at that range. Those are pretty much, those are likely high leverage shorts that took high leverage shorts right there at that point. I get it though, totally makes sense. I'm hoping those are low position sizes, but generally speaking, if you're using high leverage, always consider low position size just so you don't get destroyed. Like liquidation sucks, folks. It's not worth it. But take a look here at the macro. We can see also 136, good, 2, 3, 4, 5 billion, somewhere in that range if you average it out, right there at between 134 and 136. So a solid amount of liquidation there, but same with the upside here too, maybe about 1 or 2 billion at the 148, 149 range. So that's that. Let's go ahead and look at the charts and kind of see what's going on now that we understand kind of the back end, the foundational stuff here. Take a quick look here, first of all, at the point of control. Let's go ahead and zoom out just so we can kind of get perspective here on the more recent range. Ever since we've been down as low as 130 to 140, we've seen the price action top out at 144. That's why I mentioned that if we break through that level, use that point of control to bounce, then that would be a solid consideration for a long entry. So my speculation is 144 is still going to work as a resistance until we close above it. Right now we're testing that for the moment, so getting above is extremely important. Okay. Now I'll update our fib levels here and kind of get us some an updated playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If you're not familiar, that's all available there for you. But more importantly, what I want to look at here is a few other things too, because we did talk about this previously when we were looking at this here, and that we're under 50 in the RSI. And even though money flow index is increasing, it's only increasing because 14 days ago we had a pretty massive red candle that's fallen off now. So if you look at this really big guy right here, that's no longer part of the equation, so MFI is increasing. Don't let that confuse you, because when MFI goes up, it's generally a good sign. At this point, it's not great because that only implies that we're seeing an increase based on the average amount of money flowing into the coin versus the true number. So just be mindful of that. But we are potentially going to converge on MACD here. That's extremely important to recognize. And we're also stochastically trying to swing down. So we kind of got this conflict where the price is like pulling back, but the overall momentum is pushing up. So the easy way to understand it is that we're not out of the woods yet, and that we want to look at the moving averages and confirm, because this is where Bitcoin is really holding below specific levels. And we can see the same thing here with Solana. All right, the 20-day SMA kind of working as a descending trend line here with that area. It's right there at about 148. So again, there's that number again. 148 I think is a point of contention. Getting above that would be extremely important. Today, closing at 144 or higher, I think is a good starting point. If we see a solid closure above 144 and Bitcoin continues to normalize, then we're going to have a chance to be able to see Solana break out. But at this point here, again, Solana is looking good, much better than Bitcoin is as far as its recovery. It's establishing higher highs and higher lows in smaller time frames. So if you kind of compare the two, it's definitely looking better. And that's what we want to see and identify, right? So if we take a look here at the 4 hour, this tells us a bit different of a story. We're back up over 50 on the RSI. We kind of held at that level. Stochastic is swinging up, and MFI, a little more reliable now, is essentially increasing as well. So we're seeing more money flowing into this coin, essentially bottoming out here above the 20-day SMA at 142. So the 4-hour time frame is looking pretty solid. Being above the 50 and the 20 to me is a big deal, and I think that's a good shift in momentum. Okay, now taking a look at the hourly, let's go ahead and see if we're going to be above the cloud. This may be that consideration to potentially take it long. So the conversion line is below the baseline, telling us we don't have good momentum to the upside. Obviously, we're establishing a lower high and lower lows. But if we look at the lagging span, it's getting closer to the price action, and if it breaks free in the next 5 to 10 hours, that might be a cause for a consideration for a long. What that would do for us is if the price action, just say the lagging span goes sideways, then we'd see the price action also do the same thing, and that would provide us with a price above the cloud. The upper and lower lead, we'd be above that 0.382 fib level. We'd close at 144 or higher. So really, I would say a closure at 144 today or higher is going to be a pretty solid consideration for a long, pending Bitcoin doesn't do anything super obnoxious. Now I'm expecting Bitcoin to potentially test its 0.618, 0.65 fib levels here at that 57K range. If that does happen, we will see Solana pull back. But generally speaking, at this point here, Bitcoin is not looking bullish at all. Okay, at least on the smaller to mid time time frames, right? We haven't even broken above specific key levels on the macro. So, me personally, understanding all that, it's hard to warrant a long position with Solana, even though it looks better than Bitcoin right now. If that makes sense, right? So why not wait a little bit longer for a pullback? That's just kind of my thought process, but I'm a little more patient than the average trader. So again, to each their own. But that's kind of where we're at here. I'll go ahead and again post our playout chart on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. And obviously, if you want to join us over on our Discord, it's a really awesome group. We got some good folks there, and we took some nice profits here on SUI short, about 52%. And then prior to that, of course, Bitcoin and what was it? We also took, oh, there we go, ETH and Near Protocol. So last week was a pretty good week. I think we had like 5 or 6 trades all in profit. But again, both directions going up and down. Mostly just the premise there is that we're waiting for confirmation. That's a simple way to understand it. Anyways, if you're new to this channel, thank you again so much for watching. Be sure if you're part of my Discord, though, you read through our signals guide so you know how my signals are structured. And then obviously pay attention to trade alerts here. I provide you with specific details on coins I'm planning to take trades with. Lately, it's honestly just been like Bitcoin and Solana as far as like the interesting trades, just mainly because I'm traveling and I don't have a ton of time to be able to do some of the other videos here that I normally would be able to do that. But I'll be back in the office here soon within just a couple of days, so appreciate your patience again. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.